Hi everyone, happy Valentine's Day. Or this is going to be posted the day after Valentine's Day, so but this is filmed a day before Valentine's Day, so Valentine's Day technically haven't and already happened, but either way it is still that mood, which means that romance is in the air, love is in the air. So I thought, what a better thing to do as a fellow book nerd to give you my top romance books. I have read hundreds of books, but these are the top, I think 8, but either way, top romance books that has stood out to me throughout all of these years. And I'm going to be telling you all of them. A lot of them are really distinctive, different genres. They all have the main genre being a romance, which I think is very unique. I'm going to give you all those books in that I read that really stood out to me and really moved me in a way that no other book has. So I'm just going to go ahead and get to it. So since I am obviously in college, I don't have any of the physical books with me, so I be reading on my Kindle. That's pretty much it. I'm going to be reading off the list from my phone, and my first, this is in no particular order, is from a series you may have heard of. It's called Bridgerton from Netflix, which is also my favorite show ever. It's called The Viscount Who Loved Me by Julia Quinn, and this is based off of the season 2 of Bridgerton, which is also the best season of Bridgerton. And overall, it's just so good. It gives you that true yearning, that enemies to lovers. It's kind of forbidden love, and at the same time arranged marriages. It's so many tropes in this book, so much more than in the show itself that's in the book. So I recommend watching the show first, then reading the book, so you can have best of both worlds. But overall, I just love, if I could read this book again, I would, and it's so amazing. And I just love yearning. I just love it, and this has it all, and it's a historical fiction. Now, continuing on to that historical fiction genre, it is Persuasion by Jane Austen, which is actually the first book by Jane Austen that I've read. I'm not a huge classic reader, but I love classical romances, and this is historical classical romance, so I was really up for it, and it was actually really good. It reminds me a lot of the trope that you may know of from Wuthering Heights, which is basically forbidden love, forbidden romance. So the girl and the male isn't like allowed to be together because of their different social statuses, and that's basically what Persuasion is. It has been a while since I've read it, but I remember just feeling really satisfied with the ending from the beginning. I think it's very well done. The male love interest, he starts from the bottom, she can't be with him, and then he comes back years later and he's rich, but you know, they have to break up. So it's like a lot of yearning, a lot of looking back of what it could have been. Cute. I love romances like that, in a way that it was written, even though it's a classic, really got me into reading more classics. So I really appreciate that book for introducing me to classics in a way like that, that's like really enjoyable. So that's why Persuasion will always be one of my favorite romances. Next is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. You may have heard of this book. This is like such a popular book, and it's so good because it's such like a different type of romance. It's like that behind the scenes, kind of forbidden. I think this also takes back, it's not as historical as the last 2 books that I read, but it's like maybe in the 19s, early 19s, think old Hollywood, that. And the book is basically what the title states. She basically has 7 husbands, and in my eyes, I'm like, okay, one of these husbands are going to be her true love. Boy, could have been more wrong, but like, this is such a raw love story. I just think if you haven't read it, please read it, because it is just so raw, it's so real. I just love the way this author writes, and this will forever be one of my favorite books, and of course one of my favorite romance books. We're moving out of that historical fiction into the contemporary fiction, which is today's world. It is called Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher, which is in the Dreamland Billionaires series, and this is book 2. Absolutely love this book. This girl is her boss's employee, and they've known each other for a long time, and it is a forced marriage. I don't know about y'all, but I love me a marriage of convenience. I love me a marriage of convenience. Like, they can't like want to be married at the start, but like as time goes on, they grow more comfortable with each other, and then they just happen to be married. I just love that so much, and that's what this trope is. Plus, the female main character is a POC. She is a black woman, and I just love that representation first and foremost. It was just such an overall really nice, fun read, and out of that whole series, that is the best. This is the best book. If you want to read the whole series, you can, but if you just want to read one book, read this one. It's so good, and this will forever stand out to me. I just love the yearning, the arranged marriage. That used to be her boss, and she used to be, I think, his assistant. But then they turned into marriage, and they had forced proximity because they had to live together. It's so good. I just love this. This is how a contemporary romance should be written, or a billionaire romance, like stuff like that. This book is how it should be written. Next is another book I haven't read in a while, but it's called The Invisible Life by Addie LaRue. A big genre of it is romance, but it is one of those books where it's like have you thinking a lot. It is time travel, so it has kind of that sci-fi feel to it, and it also has a fantasy feel to it. This isn't that perfect romance. If you're looking for a nice cute little romance, this isn't it. The girls who know will know. Basically, she's invisible, and when I say invisible, that means like she'll meet someone and then they'll forget about her like a minute later. But this is the only boy that didn't forget about her after seeing her again. So like they built this connection, and then that's the thing, is that's not the only romance that's going on. This mystical creature grant her this thing, or made her invisible, so like, you know, she can't be remembered by people. There's kind of like a romance going on there, so it's like kind of a two thing, but it's not love triangle because I don't like love triangles, but it's still very unique. It's such a unique story, such a unique ending, and a lot of people have mixed feelings about it, so I just really love it for that, because it took me on a ride, on a journey. This is also one of my first romances that I've read, and I love it so much. It's so cute. It is called The Cheap Sheet by Sarah Adams. This is such a cute romance. Like, if you're just looking for a cute, innocent romance, read this book. It's a friends to lovers trope. I'm normally not a fan of friends to lovers, but this book does it so cutely. Both of them have a crush on each other, and they've been friends for a long time, and they had a crush on each other for a long time, so it's basically miscommunication, you know, but it's like in a cute way. They both could have just communicated this like years ago, and it all could have been done, but either way they both have this crush on each other, but they don't both know that they have a crush on each other. So it's just this little like back and forth, but it's so cute. And it's kind of like a sports romance, because he's like a football player and she's a dancer, which I also really love because I'm a dancer, so I'm like, I love when characters are dancers. I just remember this being cute and a sweet and a fast-paced romance, so it always stood out to me, so that's why I just love it so much. Now the next book is another book that not your traditional romance. This author do not like writing traditional romance, and we love that for her. It's by Nicolia Yoon, and it's called The Sun Is Also a Star. It is also a big like movie that you may have heard of. Love the movie. The book is also so good. It broke my heart from what happened at the end, but I just remember it standing out. POC characters, by the way, POC author, but I love that it all takes place in one day. I love stories like that, and it was just so cute. And every time she writes a romance, I know I just got to get my tears ready, but that book was so good. And for the last book I have on my list for now, I have so much more, but for my last one is another book I read a while ago. It's called Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. It is also one of those non-traditional romances, you know, and when I say non-traditional romance, it's not that cliche happy ending, which I feel like it's actually more fun to read, because it's like, okay, even though it don't have that satisfying ending, it still has a lot for you to reflect and think about, and it's so cute and sweet. Overall, this book is kind of opposite of cute and sweet, but it is so raw and so real. It really looks into the characters internally and maybe like their issues mentally and things like that, and it goes on for years. It's kind of similar to Normal People in my opinion. I haven't read it in a while, so I can't give a really good summary, but I remember finishing it and just like feeling different, feeling changed. But I think it's a really nice romance, and it is by two characters kind of revolving around each other. If you also like that trope, I just love it so much. overall, those are all of my some of my top favorite romances. Of course, I have so much more, but these are just some that stood out to me, and I also recommend that you also check out because it's just so good. But if you have any questions about any other books, or if you have any book recommendations that are romance related, please link them. Like, please link them in the comments below. I am begging. I need as many recommendations as I can get. And I just want to say happy Valentine's Day, and whether you have a Valentine's or not, you can spend it reading, you can spend it with yourself, because as long as you love yourself, that's all that matters. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for hearing me yap for like I don't even know how long. But I'll see you guys next week, and again, happy Valentine's Day. Remember to like and subscribe. Bye.